Thanks again for joining me in this video. This video will be discussing deemed rehabilitation. What this means is that you're automatically admissible now, which means you had an inadmissibility issue at some point. Most inadmissibilities are in relation to some criminal record, some criminal activity that happened some time ago, but now you are automatically rehabilitated. The government recognizes this, and therefore you should be allowed entry into the country. Seems easy enough. However, many times and many days I get calls from clients and said, hey, I've been traveling to Canada for so many times, so many years, and they've let me in, but last time I traveled, they didn't. What happened? And the answer is that when it's deemed rehabilitated, it doesn't always automatically equate to the same laws. Meaning, you can have one officer equate the offense that happened overseas to the Canadian Criminal Code as X, and another officer say, I kind of disagree, I think it's Y. And that distinction between X and Y could be deemed rehabilitated versus not being deemed rehabilitated. I always advise my clients that if you have had a criminal record in the past, the safest bet is to submit the criminal rehabilitation to the consulate, get a piece of paper that says, yes, you're approved for rehabilitation, you are rehabilitated, the borders are open to you again, and that's it. Do not leave it at the discretion of the officers at the port of entry, because many times they don't agree what is X and what is Y. In order to be deemed rehabilitated, the offense has to be less than 10 years in regards to prison time. Now, most of our offenses fall into three categories in Canada. We have a summary conviction, we have indictable, and we have something called the hybrid, which, let's say in American, there's only misdemeanors and felonies. They fall under two. Most of our offenses land in a hybrid offense, which means it can be summary, but it could also be indictable, depending on the disposition, depending on what you had to complete. And that's where the discrepancy comes in. It's never very clean. It's never really clear as to would this have been a summary or would this have been an indictable? And when that happens, you can get one officer that says, yes, welcome to Canada, you're deemed rehabilitated, versus another officer will say, no, because I think this would have been an indictable offense, and therefore you're not automatically rehabilitated, and therefore you need to submit, and that's where it gets very complicated. So the safest bet, if you can, is to submit the application to the consulate, let a professional officer render their decision, get that document, and then staple it to your passport to say, I've already done the due diligence, I am rehabilitated. However, if you still don't have the time to get that rehabilitation, you can also apply, as per my previous videos, for the temporary resident permit for your temporary entry at the port of entry. But do not go empty-handed. Do not leave it up to the officer. The documents you want to bring to the border are your FBI clearance that shows all states clearances. You want to bring your court documentation to demonstrate the disposition and what you had to serve, and documents to show that you've actually completed your sentence, and any documentation to truly show that you've been rehabilitated from that offense, whether that's certification you've received, awards that you've received, etc. And of course, the reason you're traveling to Canada in the first place. You want to bring over itinerary, your bookings, if it's a business trip, a letter from your employer to say that you're needed for this trip. If you have any questions about deemed rehabilitation, criminal rehabilitation, or TRP, please give us a call. Thank you, and until next time.